Here on the Creative Thinker Podcast, we discuss all theories, philosophy, and thought behind the creative process. And we hope that you find some inspiration along the way.
Hello and welcome to the Creative Thinker Podcast Friday edition. My name is Henry Moon and I'll be your host. And beside me as always,
I'm Michael Vasquez and I will be your co-host for today on our Casual Friday.
Casual Friday. It's going to be dank. We're going to bust open some brews and just have a good time. Talk about whatever's on our mind and whatever we want to talk about. Loosey-goosey. Just have a chill afternoon. I feel like creatively and creatives in general just need some chill time to have a break from what they've been working on. So that's kind of what has inspired this. And also one failed episode we did where we cracked open a beer and everything went off the rails at that point.
Yeah, I think there was like technical difficulties and we were just really, it was a long day. We were really goofy and the vibe was super like, woo, everywhere.
It was like the fifth podcast that day.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, we do film a lot in one day.
Yeah. I guess, this is the only place that they can confirm or deny that. Confirm. We usually record in like 3 to 4 batches at a time. So yeah.
Yeah. So we're both just super busy and we try to, we fit it in where we can and we love doing it. So we make sure that there's time, even though life gets crazy.
Hell yes, it does.
So thanks for joining. Yeah. Anywhere you are, crack one open with us. Michael, what are we drinking?
If you're over the age of 21.
Oh, yeah. If you're drink responsibly.
Yeah, drink responsible. If you're allowed to, whatever your country's laws or whatever.
Yeah.
Drink if you're able to. If not, open a nice cold soda pop.
Heck yeah. So what are you drinking today, Michael?
Today I am drinking a Pint House Pizza Training Binds, which is a hazy IPA, and it is a kind of a tall boy. I like the art style on it, Pint House Pizza. So it is a local.
What? Local to where though?
Local to the Austin, Texas area. So Pint House Pizza. I'll go ahead and read you their little description.
Oh, heck yeah.
Pint House was founded by 6 guys who share a passion for craft beer and good food. We love Austin and we are excited to help contribute to the energy and I think they meant to say that originally and original. Oh, I see. We are excited to help contribute to the energy and originality that makes Austin a vibrant community. Our goal is to serve award-winning beer and handcrafted pizza in a warm and casual setting. For details on our event, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, it's a really good place to get some solid pizza, good place for some solid beer. They have their own craft beer as well as, your typical selection of beer. Really good vibes, man. There's really good vibes. The only one I guess I've been to the one in Round Rock. There's one in Round Rock, one in on South Lamar in Austin. Nice. Super local to anyone listening. So that's what I'm drinking. What are you drinking?
Well, crack it open, dude.
Oh,
let's get it. Get it near the microphone, but not too near in case it pops. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Crisp.
All over my hand.
Crisp, disgusting. Clean yourself. Today I forgot to get the sip moment. That's my bad.
You're good. You're good.
Talking over all the best beats. I'm using my Drunk 3 koozie that you can see on here. I don't know where that's from. My wife would know. I'm drinking the peanut butter flavored milk stout by Belching Beaver Brewery in California.
Solid beer. I like it.
Yeah, it's super good. If you like milk stouts or you like stouts in general, it's super smooth. It does taste a little bit like peanut butter, which for anybody who's familiar with stouts, there's a little bit of chocolate, there's a little bit of peanut butter that are sort of more natural flavors, and it's not overwhelming. It's a nice smooth Reese's peanut butter cup if it was made with dark chocolate. I mean, it's tasty.
It's like when I first had some, because you brought some over the other day for D&D. It tasted kind of like a screwball, but not as like hard hitting peanut butter. It was like just the right amount of peanut butter, right amount of milk stout. It was a good ass beer.
Unlike a lot of milk stouts, this is like 4 or 5%, I think.
Yeah, it's super low percentage, so it's not going to get you hammered like right away. So that's what I like about mine. I think it's 7%. Yours is like what, 5, 6, something like that.
Something like that. Let me read the blurb since we're doing that. It says "damn good times" right on their page, so they're about it.
Heck yeah.
Launched in 2012, Belching Beaver evolved from a desire to make great beer and have a damn good time doing it. The award-winning craft beer company is focused on two things. First, have a brand that offers quality craft beer while also being whimsical and fun to inspire good times. So yeah, each one brings its own little personality and a little bit of fun. I'll show you the art too, because I almost didn't do that. And come on, let's be real. Let me switch to
The camera.
the camera that's about me. I don't even remember which one that is.
There we go.
There we go. There we go. It's mirrored, right? So
It's a beaver that's built. That's the most clear your camera's been all
that's
day.
the most clear that camera has ever been. This
Dang.
camera likes beer, dude. Yeah.
Oh man, it really
just
really
zooms
does.
in and out.
And
Anyway.
somehow it's focusing on you when it's wow.
Yeah,
that camera.
this is trippy. I'm gonna switch to the other one. I need to get a different camera for that. Anyway, so peanut butter milk stout. It's got a little beaver on the front. That's fun. Yeah, check them out. They're a good little beer. And if you like to enjoy your beer rather than just drinking one, this is a great one for you.
Solid.
So let's get the.
Oh yeah. We gotta get the ASMR. Oh, in the face.
You're in the danger zone, sir.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I don't know how to open beer. I'm sorry.
No, I did the same thing. If you look, I have. God. Oh well, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your sipping.
Sorry about the new laptop.
You got beer all over it now.
Got beer everywhere. It's so sticky in here. So yeah, now that we've introduced our beers, I hope you're drinking something interesting at home, whatever that might be.
Yeah,
Michael, what's been on your mind lately, bro?
Man, well, I got to talk to you about something serious. I TPK'd our D&D group last week when we played D&D.
Yeah, you sure did. And I was drinking a much higher percentage beer that I was not used to drinking.
And I think what did you in is we had a mixed drink. Well, y'all had a mixed drink because I had to go to work that next day. So I was drinking, but I wasn't drinking what y'all were drinking.
It was like my wife makes tons of like great breads, like great foods in general, great, drinks. Now that she's been certified to make drinks.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's been fun.
And she made one that was like homemade.
Yeah.
And there's just no way to tell what the alcohol content is.
It was like a coffee liqueur, right?
Oh, and it's so good.
It is. And she made like kind of like a White Russians for y'all. But man,
you got to do like a fourth of a shot and a whole bunch of
everything
whatever
else.
the else is. Because wow.
Well, because there's also other liquors in it. And I think that's what did you in. Because you had a beer, you had that, had more beer, and it was like, ooh, Henry's hurting today.
like I don't drink that much. Like if I drink, I'll have one beer.
Yeah.
And I'll have it for flavor. And then like that was, I've never forgotten anything ever in my life. Like I don't drink at that level.
Yeah.
I never have. And man, yeah, the TPK was the time I chose to not be there mentally.
To be fair, so that's the thing with our D&D sessions, and sometimes like I'll run like really big combat. So like, to be fair, like I try to get you guys so involved in like all the moving pieces, and it's like high level combat. There's a lot of people there. I think on the initiative order, I had like 20 something people. I was running like 8 like full character sheets, and then I had you guys running like a couple different NPCs, and you were running someone, and Molly was running somebody. So like they're all like running a bunch of different NPCs, as well as your own characters. But when initiative is that long, and then for those who don't play D&D, the initiative is just like the combat order, right? So to make it fair, we roll a bunch of dice, and you add a certain score to it to see like how quick you can move in the combat. And when you have that many people that all have like full actions, bonus actions, the full setup for D&D, it just takes a long time. So I think we ended up pushing through maybe 7 rounds of combat. And that was, pushing through it. It still took us like almost 4 hours, 5 hours.
I think I remember 2, maybe 3 rounds of combat.
Yeah.
Which is rough. Like I said, that's never
was
happened.
rough too. Cause
my bad,
Yeah, no, I felt bad, but I kept on running the session. I wasn't sure, like, because I know like you're also a bigger guy than me, so like I wasn't sure how like where you were at. But
No,
yeah, I
it's
did
all
feel a little
good.
bit bad about that. But yeah, so that's what and there was kind of a big twist at the end of the TPK is you guys and that's what I've been working on right now is at the end of the TPK, which I wasn't sure how it was going to go. Like, I'm really never sure like what y'all's battle strategies are going to be.
This feels like my first time hearing this. Let me know what happened.
Oh yeah. So I brought you guys, man, from the session before, y'all were in like a mind flayer colony and you guys talked your way out and persuaded with very high persuasion rolls to not just die there, because that was also another very bad situation you guys got yourselves into. Whether or not you knew it or not, you know, it was a mind flayer colony that y'all were going into, and with your high initiative rolls, y'all were doing pretty good. But anyways, the one of the big mind flayer bosses was like, we can agree to we'll leave this place in 10 days. And this is my show of good faith. Your compound's getting attacked right now. And so that was like my chance to be like, hey, this is happening. Do with it what you will, because I'm at least going to give you the opportunity to defend your home right now. And this is the mind flayer giving you that opportunity and also letting you know he knows what's going on. And so then I transferred y'all back to like your home base of operation, Jewel Mendama's compound, and action took place right from the beginning. It was straight right into combat, and I tried to make combat like different, interesting, fun. So it's not just like okay, attack roll. That's why I have you guys do a bunch of different characters, and then where y'all positioned yourselves and just like how things were in the compound. Excuse me, you had to like spend 2 turns just like running to get somewhere. So I understand why, like, you know, your turns are kind of rough because you don't have a lot of range stuff. Henry plays a barbarian.
Because I didn't know any. Well, I still don't, but I don't know a lot of the rules for D&D, and it was like, I did like a Google search. What's the easiest character to play? And it was like barbarian, which is not true. First of all, and second of all, it is on some level because you just attack and you have to be close to do it. But it's also like there's a lot of math.
Yeah. And so like y'all are level 13, 14, something like that.
I think we're 13 and Molly's 14.
Yeah. And so like you just obviously get a lot of abilities. You've looted a lot of different places. And so the weapon you currently have is like a weapon that was forged by a dragon who got trapped inside a sword, and that was a sword you and one of your allies were using. And so they crafted you from your old axe, like this new axe that has like the gem that your wife gave you. And they imbued a lot of the magic that they already had as that sword. So you still have some of those abilities from the sword you lost. Some of them.
Like as a gift for freeing them from the sword, because that was an option to not. But it was also like if you didn't, they take revenge in sort of like small ways, you know?
Yeah.
And that end up being big things if you're in a hairy situation in combat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was like a super cool, like, here's the like gift for being a good person. And there's not a lot of those in Fantasyland usually.
Yeah. And so like, and really what the trigger point was for that weapon that I created, well, I actually didn't create it. I kind of took it from an enemy you guys fought, and that was the weapon it was for D&D. And I was like, let me add my own lore to it. And it was the amount of dragons that you guys kill will then eventually equate to like when it will be released. And so you guys are dragon slayers, you know, like that could be like the tertiary name for you guys. I think it's, you know, FSU, and then Fine Star's Finest, which I'm repping the shirt right here.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Fine Star's Finest.
Look at that.
The official name and logo that Henry made.
There you go.
And then Dragon Slayers. I think you've taken on that last name as your character. And you ended up killing more dragons than everyone else, like having that final blow. And so Gladriel was able to come out and was able to, you know, do this for you. So I thought it was pretty fun to do, to make my own magic weapon. And That's part of like the creative process that I've been enjoying the most. Is like, how can I make magic weapons still unique, mean something to you? Because that's one of the things that your character brought to the table was like, you have this axe and in it is the gem of your wife. And so I didn't want to like give you a new weapon. I wanted to enhance that weapon. I think that's something even going forward into some of my games I want to start doing is how can I enhance the weapon that you have so that it has some type of legacy to it? Because I think that's something you see in fantasy. You know, you see this person like, this sword has been in my family for generations and it served this king and it served this king. And so I kind of want to keep that, you know, fantasy element to enhance your guys' weapon. So anyways, that's all backstory compared to like what actually happened. And as soon as you dropped into it, I had you make some saves because you actually made a deal with the people unknowingly.
Yeah. And then basically we had like some almost like fever dream. And then there was like this hooded council that we appeared in front of, but individually. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, okay, well, you get to make this decision of whether you're going to join them or not with very little information. And it's just like, and it was like well-timed thematically because like we had talked about how dwarves are like, very much they take on the names of their profession. Yeah. And so like we had killed I think it was, I don't know, something like 30 dragons or something at that point. Yeah. And it was like that was the number that I had just set in my mind, said this is the number, and then if I hit that then we'll change the name to that because that's his like new profession or whatever. Yeah. And then so he had just hit that and gotten the title, and then we had like the party to celebrate the winning of that battle. And then it was like, okay, fever dream, you're in front of these people. It's like, will you help us kill dragons? And it's like, well, yeah. Okay, cool. You know, like, cause you play your character in D&D. It's not really like what you know. Like, of course, I know I appear in front of hooded figures in real life. I'm going to say,
maybe not. Let me ask some questions instead of agreeing right away.
Is there an alternate answer? For sure. But yeah, if you're playing your character, it's like, yeah, okay, well, he just killed a bunch of dragons. Yeah, he's down for it. Doesn't matter that half of his party is dragons, right?
Yeah,
Dragonborns. I mean,
exactly. And so that was like the difference, because I don't know like how much I'll go ahead and reveal some of it because this podcast will come out much later. But anyways, these people, they're from like a different plane. So like dragons to them are just monster creatures. And so even though they themselves were dragonborn, they have done atrocities and have killed their own kind because they were selected. And so they were just like now going to other people and be like, hey, it is time for this plane for us to do this job. And we're grabbing a couple people. Will you accept to help us with this? And then that's when they kind of tell you vaguely, like, we're killing dragons, but it's like good dragons, bad dragons, dragonborn, any type of dragon folk, any type of dragon kind, anything dragon related, we're just wiping out, exterminating on this plane. And they told you they have like, I think it was like a short month, like 28 days or 29 days. And they're going to come in and just start wiping shit out. And then, of course, so they make this agreement with you, and it's a magical agreement. So the first round of combat, I'm like, hey, make a wisdom saving throw. And then it's like you have to attack. Luckily, this paladin who's just got a super high AC, and you missed on both of the attacks. But
dude, I think it's like 3 per round. Mm-hmm. I missed every attack for like 3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah. It took you a while to like break that. It was like a charm effect where it's like, okay, now you agree to it. This is your end of the agreement, whether you want to or not.
And then I was checked out by the time I started landing hits and yeah, started giving super low numbers for my attack rolls because I just was
that was like 2 hours later, 2 or 3 hours later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then, so this group came in.
So I'm told.
Yeah. So this group came in and just like started annihilating them because they're all, this was a high level group. And I wasn't sure, like you guys roll really well when the circumstances ask for it. I wasn't sure how you guys were going to use the allies y'all had to try and move things to your benefit. But then Grace does her thing. And
Yeah, my wife rolls obscenely well on anything involving dice.
yeah, it's dumb. I got to tell her what to roll, and she'll end up rolling it. And they're not weighted dice. I've checked them.
We've switched out dice.
We've rolled them. Yeah, it's just I've given her my dice to roll, and it's just like she's just got the touch, man. Like she's got the blessing of whatever dice god. It is absolutely crazy.
It is statistically impossible.
It is. I've had her roll like percentage dice. I'm like, you need to roll a 95 or above. My dice, and she's like 98. I was like, get out of here, dude. That's ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous.
And there was 2 occasions on the same night where you said it needs to be a 99 or above. And she rolled 100 on both.
Yeah, I was like, this is absurd. Because I think she tried to use like when she ended up telling me like what you wanted to do, I was like, it sounds like you want to use a wish spell plus like divine intervention. So like, this is what you need to roll, like to see how successful this thing is going to be. And yeah, she rolled 100. I was like, this is
unreal.
I was like, okay, so what we're going to do is like, I need you to roll something. Cause I was like, I want to put things in the player's hands. So I was like, you need to roll a D6 to see like how successful it is. And I think she rolled like a 3 or a 2 or something like that. I was like, okay, those people don't even have a chance for a save. They're just gone. And so she banished like a lot of the people via like divine intervention and wish. So I was like, this is how many people a banishment spell would get at 9th level, and excuse me, plus divine intervention, like what you roll in this D6, no save. They're just gone, and you get to pick which ones they are. And so she picked them, and all but 1 saved. So from this group of 8 that came in to attack, only 3 are left, or 3 were left at the end of the combat. Then they ended up fleeing. They called in Gladriel and Avaros. They called in Avaros. And so in Astrid's little scene that she had, they pulled out an orb of dragonkind, which can call evil dragons. Or I think it's evil or any type of dragons, but Gladriel and Avaros also have similar alignments to y'all, to where it's like, I think it's neutral evil or chaotic evil. And called them in, and they, the ones that killed Astrid's character or Grace's character, used the held monster on them and just were attacking and doing crits all the way down. And that's when everyone was like, we got to go and save him. We got to go and save Avaros because Avaros is about to die. And then y'all all transferred or teleported through some magical means over there to the fight, and then ended up getting TPK'd by these 2 individuals, or I guess 3 individuals. One was like a very high level wizard, very high level Oathbreaker paladin, who had a belt of dwarven kind, a belt of storm giant strength. So the strength was 29. So every hit they had like almost like a plus 20 something to the damage without rolls. So they were just wrecking shop and doing a ton of damage. And I wanted to like give him legendary actions and give him this and that. I was like, I'm going to give him like 1 or 2 legendary actions, because the amount of damage on his output is ridiculously high. Because he also had magic items, because I wasn't sure if y'all were going to take him out. I was like, there is going to be loot, but he is going to be using the loot until you guys take him out. And he had these gauntlets that I homebrewed that maybe were a little bit too tough. But if at some point y'all get them, they're going to be some wild ass magic items. And so then they ended up, through the course of the events, there were another wish spell was made, and still TPK happened. And then everyone teleported at the end. Rings of gold came around the 3 of you guys, and rings of gold started popping up all around, and these metallic creatures, and I kind of describe it, they're like this on my hand, were like this with like a little orb in the middle, all came out, and then beams of light started coming out and attacking everyone that was around y'all. And then y'all got teleported into this metallic place full of like different geometrical like pillars that are going up and around. And I'll say to you, as someone who like has played the games, it's very much like a Halo description of where you guys are at.
Yeah.
And Sentinels just came out and protected the index.
That's what Gracie was telling me, like, oh, Metal Plane. And I was like, dude, Halo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. And we're playing again tomorrow. So that's going to be dope.
Yeah. So that's what you missed. I mean,
quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a lot.
Bad again. Yeah. That was, so I felt terrible when I got home. I was like, I know exactly how much work you put into this because we talk about it, frequently. But it's like, dude, I'm just like out of it for the whole thing. It's like, dang.
And what's tough too is like, even though you were out of it, I was like, well, it's kind of sucks to say, like you've had your moments. You had a lot of moments, and like this wasn't really a moment for you. While your character may have made different decisions, maybe. I still think the character was played pretty well. It was just dice weren't rolled right. But at that point, like I told them, I was like, I know that it doesn't really matter too much because they still had like 650 hit points. Like they still had a lot left. And so even if your damage rolls were full max, I
need at least 3-4 rounds to get
there. Yeah. Like the whole team would have needed it. And it just didn't happen because the other people with you also had very high amount of hit points because I intended for them to be kind of picked off one by one. Or like, 2 of them versus a lot of you guys. And I intended them all to have like legendary actions and legendary reactions and to be able to do this and that to make them like dynamic. But it just didn't pan out that way. And so I just used that guy to have legendary actions. And yeah, he kind of, fucked you guys up a little bit. I think like he had
apparently.
He had some gauntlets that just did a ton of damage. But yeah, so that's where I was like, this is really a little bit of Astrid's story. Like she's defending her keep as long as she is in the game and like present and what's going on, and she's defending her people as Dragonborn, and the story elements are still hitting. I didn't feel too bad about it. And I don't feel bad that you were kind of gone. I feel bad as a friend. Like I want you to be there for that moment, but I also know like I've made really big moments for you. So I didn't feel super bad about it. Yeah. No, respectfully.
It's definitely Astrid's mission. And that's been fun because it's like, Gracie is sort of like almost unbeknownst to her becomes super invested. Mm-hmm. And then her mission started. Mm-hmm. And it's cool. It's just fun. I mean, as a spouse, it's just fun seeing her like try to math her way through it.
Yeah.
It's just really neat. She's having a blast with it.
Yeah. I think yesterday she was like, hey, I'm not actually mad at you. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm not taking it personally. Like, I feel bad for y'all as a group. Like, I feel bad for what happened, but I don't. As a DM, it's like, this was the me not holding back any punches. And sometimes in the past I have. That's just I've been a growing DM. And
it's been 3 years. So it's like at a certain point, like we're so high level that it's almost like if you pull anything, then there's no chance for any of the NPCs,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's like, okay, well, and you come in and slaughter a new group,
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's been really fun for that too. Cause when y'all are Alaska, like we try to keep up playing as much as we could, but just our schedules were tough to like start playing D&D after the work day. It was like the only time it worked for you guys. And that was the only time it worked for me. So I ended up prepping a lot of stuff. As far as like world building, different areas, because like I wasn't sure what y'all were gonna do. And then Grace was like, so what about this dragon? I was like, oh, the dragon that wiped your clan out 20 years ago or 30 years ago, and that has been seen every now and then and still is around potentially, but hasn't been seen in the last few years. Yeah, what you talking about that dragon? She's like, yeah, that dragon. I was like, okay, this is the information you have. And that was like, it was really good to me, like as a DM for like her investment to be there, especially like after so long of not playing and being like, she still was invested into it. And this was really nice to like go on her quest and see how she was going to react to a lot of the stuff. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it has been.
Yeah.
It was fun for the first half for sure. I enjoyed the recap. So
right.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow for that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I've been thinking about. Like what's next? How how do I run this next part, because it's a lot of just me probably going to be talking, but I want to give you guys like the interaction that you need to have. Because also you guys just got fucked up and now are teleported into some place you have no idea where it's at. You don't know what's going on. You guys have very low health, and this creature just came up and said, I'm going to guide you as holder of the index, looking to my wife's character. As holder of the index, I'm going to guide you to the core. And so now it went very abruptly from Grace's mission to Molly's mission. Yeah, very abruptly.
Dang, we're in end-game stuff. I mean, this is like, and maybe not end-game, but I mean, it's like this is the pinnacle of the missions that we are aware of.
It has been, so they had this like quest to, Molly had this quest to retrieve the index that happened 2.5 years ago.
It was pretty early, yeah.
Yeah, and so she ended up getting it, and then as she continued to ask, like, time and time again, like, what do I need to do? Am I ready for it? It's like, well, I don't have it planned out. I don't have it prepped yet. So no, like, wait, get ready. Like, grow stronger was the biggest thing that they said is grow stronger. You'll be ready. You're going to be ready eventually. Like, I trust that you're going to be ready. And so prepping that, and I don't want to give that away yet. Maybe on the next Casual Friday, I'll start giving away more of the secrets, but it's been a lot of planning, and it's just a lot of stuff, tough stuff to drop on people, and hope that they don't get too upset. Like, Grace's dad character is dead currently, and I know why, but I don't want to reveal anything in case Grace listens.
Yeah. No, it's been interesting just seeing, like, it's hard to explain without giving a ton of backstory, and that's a drop in the bucket compared to the world of what we just did, right? Mm-hmm. That's a snapshot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's a recent snapshot at that, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think it's hard to convey in terms of the podcast. It's hard to convey that, like, you've been doing this weekly for about 10 hours weekly. Mm-hmm. For 3 years, mm-hmm. and it's been the same story, and we've finished, I think, 2, maybe 3 arcs, and then this is like this is the through line of everything that was incomplete after those 2 or 3.
Yeah, it really is,
and it's been really masterful storytelling, and it's just been like watching somebody do their, anytime you read a book series that's done really well, mm-hmm. and has, callbacks and sort of like consistent characters and that sort of thing, it's like, it really is. If you get into really like classical music and stuff like that, it's like, if you're really into it, then you start hearing those little rhythms of notes being brought back and things like that, where it's like, oh wow, like this is really beautiful. Mm-hmm. And it's been cool getting to play, and it's nice getting to share some of that. I mean, it's mm-hmm. We got into like podcasting stuff, pretty late, I guess, when it got sophisticated. So I think I started podcasting about the time we started playing. So mm-hmm. By the time it got good enough that I would say leave podcasts up on Spotify. Yeah. By that time, it was like, we're so far into the world that it's going to be a lot of catch up if we try to do anything. Yeah. And it's also like not the vibe. Like we very much we like taking breaks for our food, and we like to we've all cooked at some point or another. And it's mm-hmm. like we've all have and that's kind of what's cool about D&D. But we've all put in our effort into the food. We've all put our effort into the drinks. We've all, so we have a good friend group, mm-hmm. and it's more about that and having a good time than it is about presenting it. So I think about D&D podcasts that are like Critical Role and stuff like that. It's like, it is about the presentation.
100%. I mean, they still say it's the characters and stuff, but there are moments when I watch it where it's like, ooh, I would have paused for a little bit for that. And, people end up going to the bathroom and missing stuff, and this happens because they're comfortable. The players are having fun, I guess, but there's there's still like that aspect that they're missing from like their home game, I'm sure, of like, they need to try and keep it concise to their 3 to, I think it's like 3.5 to 5.5 or 6. A long episode is like 5.5 hours for them, which is like medium for us, that's about average for our sessions.
Yeah. And so it's like nobody really wants to do the presentation stuff or like hey, this needs to be content, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And we're all having a good time. So there's no reason to really transition over.
Right.
But it's also like, and there is something about art that it becomes really special, like Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Like this guy is like a wildlife photographer and he's chasing down a snow leopard because at the time, they're rare and they'd almost never been photographed. So that's what the movie was about, photographing a wild snow leopard. And so he's sat there in front of a snow leopard. It finally comes out and he doesn't take the picture. And it's because some things are too beautiful to be recorded.
Man, I feel that.
And so it's like, there is definitely an element of that where it's like, this is an amazing, just human feat that it feels like should come with some, some with appreciation and some, I mean, not that it's not appreciated because it is, but it's it should come with a little bit more bells and whistles and some money and some,
I think that's what I said, like on one of the other podcasts. It's like, my DM prep and like presentation, like wouldn't be, YouTube level or, podcast or whatever, Twitch level. But like for us, like the passion is there from everybody. And like, we're all really, really enjoying it. And yeah, no, the thanks is there for sure, with as far as like, everyone's like breaks their schedule to do D&D whenever we can. And brings food and brings that. I think that's one of the things I really liked when you were DMing is, you would have like these potions and but there were different shots and each shot like gave you something different. Like it was just so fun for like you and Grace to like make these shots. And it's like, okay, this is like an horchata shot of, this is what's in it. This is a different type of shot. And y'all had them like in little potion bottles. And it's like, if you drink it, your character in game gains this thing. So hold on to it. And so that was it was fun, It's been a lot of fun.
We're very extra, so it's like props galore if we can.
Yeah.
Like my favorite thing that I got to do was those like loot crates where it had like different dice, and I'd make the lists, and it's like almost all of it was homebrewed, but just because I had a lot of time to do that. So yeah, you had these tiny little treasure chests at Hobby Lobby, and so you put dice in there, and that's about all it would fit anyway. So you open it up and take out the dice and roll it, and that decides what you get, know, and stuff like that. For me, is super fun.
And it was fun seeing like how we both run stuff different, or I guess how we all run stuff differently. I think Molly's running a Game of Thrones campaign right now for me, Shannon, and Evan, and seeing her DM, it's like, oh man, it's just so cool to see like everyone around us are DMing and trying to take that creative process. And she's taking the Game of Thrones world and really like going crazy with it. It's cool. And I know Grace has a Pokemon campaign that, it's tough to like, it's a lot. It's a lot to keep track of as far as like Pokemon and stuff and all of their abilities. But, it was so fun to see like her do that and get all the Pokemon and stuff and put us on our quest and see you with your Pokemon. It's been
never
fun,
watched it, so it was rough.
Yeah.
But also fun because it was like experiencing the world the first time, which is like, I don't know the rules, so here we go.
Yeah, and that's where it's different for me. It's like I played all the like the Nintendo games when they came out. I watched the shows when they came out up to like whenever they left to like Gen 3, I think was the last gen of Pokemon I kept up with, but because they came out and that's what I would do on our car rides to school. So I would play Game Boy, play Pokemon. That's where I learned a lot of like the lore and stuff. But
it's been a great venue for people being confident presenters and like because it's like it's 100% yours and you're presenting it to the group, and you have to you have to own it. Otherwise it's not going to be fun for anybody. And I think
Dude, 100%.
and the way each of us owns it is totally different. And it's like a totally different time. Yeah, I think we're all like, it's funny seeing where each of us chooses to be silly and where each of us chooses to be serious. Is cool too. And it's like, I don't know, every time you get somebody in a new form of creativity, and that's why I do this. I think it's so cool to see people be different. It's like that embodying different versions of yourself. Each piece of creativity you pick up, it's like, oh, I want to do this because I'm using this piece of creativity. And it's like, it's a different form of yourself. And like storytelling, especially like improv storytelling, which is more or less what D&D is like,
oh yeah. And I intentionally leave it that way. Like, that's why I'm nervous about tomorrow's session, is because I know I have a certain amount of like improv room. And that's what I like to do in the session. Cause sometimes what I have planned, I'm like, nah, we're not going with that.
Yeah, man, it's been great. And it's been, it's been a great like fuel for everything. Like, I said, about the time we started playing D&D was about the time I started the podcast. It was about the time I picked up wood burning and drawing and woodworking. Yeah,
I was gonna say woodworking. I got a table right now because of you.
So yeah, I mean, because of all of us. I mean, we all help put it together and help sand it and stain and all the stuff. So, and it's got our little logo inside. Fine Stars Finest is branded on the inside, and it's super cool. We get to use it every time we come over, and that's. Yeah. And that's what's so exciting about life in general, is and getting to live it with other people. It's like, I'm such an introverted person. And it's like, I need a break from people. I need a break from, any social interactions, but, not with you and Molly. It's like, it just feels like the same as being, it's just as recharging, because it's like, we've brought so much into that space and, so much acceptance of whatever the creativity is, so much enthusiasm for what it is, and like 100% participation in whatever it is. And it's like, Molly always jokes about having a lot of genius friends, but it's because like both of you, I mean, leave room for people to be themselves. And I feel very strongly that there's geniuses inside of everybody. It's just whether they've been maybe loved enough to let it out,
and like what their genius level is, or like what it is, what their like, I guess, topic or subject of genius is.
Yeah. But it's like everybody has a little bit of that somewhere. And once they get love and acceptance, you know what I mean? There's no end to what they're capable of, kind of. And that's more or less what I've learned, to be a lot more optimistic because of D&D.
Hey, nice.
That's why we talk about it.
Yeah.
Cheers. There you go. Boom. Well, man. Yeah. It's been 43 minutes of casual.
I know it has. It's been nice to just talk and chill. And maybe this is where where I reveal secrets eventually later on down the road of D&D and our games. But yeah, no, this was fun. I enjoyed it. What have you been working on?
We'll talk about that next Casual Friday. No, I've just been working on writing and basically trying to get my life in order. I feel like there's more scheduling stuff. But
is this where I throw down the writing challenge?
Yeah. No, let's do it. Yeah, 100%. We can. Okay. I don't know how many words we're trying to do, or like, is there any pass fail on this other than we worked on it?
I don't think there's a pass fail, but it's just like a little bit of accountability. Like, hey, what I presented to Henry was like, let's do, we've both been talking about writing. We both have been kind of stuck on our writing for a little bit. And so what is something that we can do to hold each other accountable is every other time, or every 2 or 3 weeks, kind of check in on what our writing process is. I wanted to write a lot, but I typically end up using my D&D session to be like, oh, well, I'm writing, or my D&D prep time. Oh, well, I'm writing for this, I'm writing for that. But like, I want to write short stories. I would like to write, some type of like small book, of something. And I don't know what that is yet. So that is my challenge right now. I'd say as of this recording, it is mid-April. Come May, do you want to keep writing on Under Eve? Is that your challenge?
Yeah. So Under Eve has been a story I've been working on for a long time, and I've sort of always been a sci-fi fan, but I'm recent to understanding that about myself. And so this is the first story that I started working on that was like, I'm going to go full tilt into sci-fi.
Okay.
And obviously you helped me with it for the prep work and setting up the world and all that stuff. And now it's time to put pen to paper, so to speak, and get it out there. So I've got the intro sequence done. And then as sort of like the attention grabber, the first page and a half. And then now it's time to get the whole pilot episode out.
Yeah.
So at the end of that, I'm going to be submitting to whatever festivals are accepting at that point.
Yeah.
Shannon, who's been on the show, is working on some character art, and hopefully my job allows me to pay her for for all the character art I need for that. But I'm just going to package it up together and start doing my elevator pitches. Gotcha. At some festivals and wherever I can. So Sweet. So that's my goal, is like, I'm trying to sell a TV show. Yeah. That's my goal. And then sort of after this calendar year, then I'll move on to first book. That's my goal. So
Gotcha. So then, it's mid-April right now. I think the gauntlets have been thrown down. Come May, let's come up with, whatever you want your goal to be, and like, let us think, what is the outcome that we want, and start reflecting on some of the things we've been talking about as far as like planning out stuff. I think a good topic for us to talk about eventually would be like, what is an outline, and what does that look like, and how can we bring that to the table, and then, start from there on like what we need to actually accomplish. Because I have no idea what I want to write about right now, but I know I want to write something. Good. The creative itch is there, and I want to make it like original, because a lot of like our D&D campaign has been stolen from, so many different, different works of art, and Halo and Aragon, and
repurposed is a more fair way to put that.
Yeah, repurposed. Yeah, I say stolen loosely. Repurposed for D&D, because like there's no like Halo D&D stuff. There's no anything else, D&D stuff that I've been bringing in. I've been having to create a lot of it and make it make sense to the world as just like another species. Like, the brutes in Halo are repurposed, and now they're here, and jackals in Halo, and the technology in Halo, and I repurposed a lot of that stuff. Repurposed a lot of, like I said, like names and things like that. So I really want to create something original and see, I don't know if I want to go the sci-fi route or if I want to go the fantasy route, because I've also brought a lot of Star Wars stuff in. So we'll see. We'll see, and in early May we'll have a casual Friday and talk about what that looks like.
Heck yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah,
that's exciting. Yeah, I should have an outline for that, for Under Eve, because it's already underway, but I need to get that down on paper. But I should have that for you. Mm-hmm. That'll be my next step.
Sweet.
Thanks for coming along for Casual Friday, everybody. Hope it was as relaxing for you as it was for us. I hope the beverages were cool, and I hope the rest of the evening is long. May you have a wonderful weekend. Creative thinkers all over the globe, you take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.